and welcome to this week's episode of Hashtag Leadership What's on Your Mind, a podcast to aim to add value to your leadership journey by bringing great guests on to share their stories and experts in their field. So today I have the pleasure of welcoming Gloria Soo onto the podcast. Gloria, how are you doing?
I'm fantastic, feeling good. Thanks, Stuart.
Good. So Gloria is joining me from Singapore. So I know it's 3 o'clock here, 11 o'clock with you. So thank you so much for your time. Gloria's got a vast amount of experience in business. She is a trainer now, NLP expert, let's call you an expert. And I want you to introduce yourself to start off with before we get into the podcast. And I'll start the timer. We've got 20 minutes. So for the people who don't know you, Gloria, just give your introduction.
Okay, absolutely. All right. And hi, my name is Gloria Soo, and I am right now working as a managing partner to a company academy called NLP Top Coach Company Limited. And what I do there right now is we conduct NLP trainings. And so I develop coaches and trainers for NLP as well as hypnotherapy and International Coaching Federation, as well as professional business coaching certification. So this is what I do right now, my current job. However, take you back to 3 years ago. Before that, I was actually running a consulting firm, which I supply interim CFOs and also CTOs as well as the lawyers.
Fantastic. So you can tell by that the reason why I needed to get you on here. So you were a recommendation from one of my previous clients, Winnie, that's been on the podcast as well. So again, thank you so much. So obviously, hashtag leadership, what's on your mind? What comes to your mind when you're thinking about leadership as a topic, as an umbrella? What comes to your experiences?
When I look at your title, I would think about basically leadership starts from young, even when you're a child. So, the most important part of our life is actually to follow the right leaders. Okay, so when you are actually trained by the right leader, someone who is willing to mentor you, to train you, those are the great leaders to go to. Especially young people, once you leave school, it's not about getting higher pay or good salary. Yes, it is important, but yet, in my opinion, to get a great leader, a good boss, it's more important than anything. So I started off my
longevity of happiness. There's a lot more linked to that, isn't there?
Yes, it is. It is. And then you'll learn a lot more in the beginning of your life. That short journey with your whatever boss you have at that moment, it's really important. So I felt that to have a good boss is very, very crucial in your life to start your journey.
Yeah. So talking about starting journeys, are you aware of when your leadership journey started, whether it's on reflection or you knew at the time? How far does that go back?
It went back all the way to, I think, when I was 13. When I started working, I came from a very poor family, and therefore I had to work for my pocket money. So, and though I live in Singapore, but I'm originally from Malaysia. And during that moment, I actually started working by car washing. So that was how I earned my first pocket money. And in order to do that, I actually helped myself to be disciplined. And I've learned about scheduling my own schoolwork and my work, and then also managing the little money I have, and also helping someone to become a leader as well at that point in time. Because I realized that, in order to be like me, I need to have someone who can actually help me to also wash the car along with me.
Yeah,
so I can take on more jobs. Yes, at the age of 14.
That links into two things that you said at the start then. So you've got that, I talk about self-leadership quite a lot. So that realization that you said there about starting something yourself, but then quite quickly going into bringing others involved. So very much what you said at the very start about your thoughts about leadership. Fantastic. So share with us some bit of added value regards to your stories of what you've experienced from 13 years old up till now through that journey of different businesses, what you're doing now. What's that look like?
I would like to actually use my consulting experience where, majority of my clients are the SME bosses as well as the multinationals executive. They are the C-suite level. So what happened is that during this part of my life, I would say the last 10 years was the richest, in my growth as a leader, and also as someone who can actually develop leaders in my own team. So I believe in one thing, it's that looking at all these leaders, majority of them are suffering from loneliness in their journey, because being at the top is really a very lonely journey. So the only solution that you can have, is actually to have someone who can lead like you, and a duplication of you. When you don't duplicate yourself and you continue doing the work, and you became, you're alone in terms of, your thinking and your ideas were only coming from you alone. Maybe you can have some friends and things like that, but still the journey is so lonely. So if you have a team that you've developed, and these are the people gonna be your inner circle, when you have your own inner circle, you can actually bounce a lot more ideas, and someone can share all your burden, and they can help you to also help you with all the challenges that you have, and go through that journey together with you. So I always believe that my team, my inner circle team, should be trained by me and developed by me, and they should be almost like me.
Awesome, I like that. How do you make the first step into doing that? What's the first
How do I
things that
make?
people can do to surround themselves by great people?
Okay, so most of the time, I have got these 5 steps that I use. Is the first one is to attract people. A, B, C, D, E. So A is to attract people. So in order to attract people, you have to be somebody. You need to develop yourself. You need to showcase your work. You need to build credibility. You need to actually build trust with people as well, so that when all these leaders appear in your life, you can actually attract them into your life. Okay, whatever that purpose is, that you meet all these people when you're networking, or when you have encountered during meetings. So I'm always trying to attract a talent, and a talent should eventually become a leader. I will be able to spot them, because I've been doing this like for the longest time, almost 25 years now. So first thing first is to attract them. Okay, the second part of it will be to build rapport. Every one of them will always have fear, thinking, what's the purpose of you trying to contact me? They will have fear about, why are you reaching out to me, and who are you? Why should I listen to you? Who are you dealing with? And then why am I being targeted? So sometimes when you talk too much, they will have this kind of mindset. So what I do is that when I build rapport, it is getting to know them. I want to know them. I want to know their success story. I want to know what makes them tick. I want to know what they really want in 5 years, 10 years from now. And I would ask myself whether I could offer them that. So this is the second part, which is B, and building rapport. The third one is to coach them. Once they are already in your inner circle, the first thing first that they're looking at is to observe you. It is role modeling. So they will watch me, what I'm doing. They will watch everything that I do. Even when you go drinking, even when you go networking, even when you are in the office, when you're at home, when you're with your children, with your families, they will watch you all the time, because this is all about role modeling. Okay, so I will coach them. Eventually, after I build the trust, I will coach them to actually lead them into a better leader as well. Then, of course, the D, which is developing, is to equip them. Okay, developing their mindset, mental health, their ability using their existing talent. If they're really young, then I want to cultivate their talent. If they're already like a certain age, maybe 40, 50, 60 years old, I will use their talent to explore even better, uh, um, uh, basically help them to explore greater skills, from what they have actually missed out from the younger generation. So trying to assimilate them into the society, because sometimes mindset becomes a problem when when you actually left an organization. You'll probably be carrying a lot of baggage with you, so you need to let go, and then you need to renew your mind to be um, enlightened again. So that is what I find that is really important. So I will use everything that I know to equip them and also to develop them. Then the fifth one, which is E, the E will be empowering them. So when you say empowering them, it's with all the skill sets that they have learned after a year of being mentored. Normally, you have got all the skills and the knowledge, and you can develop your own program. You can do things that you want to do. However, I like them to also teach the skills to someone else. So I need to empower them so that they can actually develop their new sets of leaders.
I love
Okay,
that.
so to duplicate them. So most of the time it works really well in the multi-level marketing direct selling companies because they needed the leaders to actually grow. And I use the same concept in all these organizations that I've been working with as a consultant, as well as some of the companies I've been working with for corporate trainings.
Yeah, amazing. I love that. And obviously with the military background, we always have structures and processes, but that's something that really good that people can write that down and make sure that they're doing and start to step through that process. I love the way that's got a natural flow to it as well. Amazing.
Yeah.
Good. So obviously people is a massive part of leadership, of driving yourself, obviously self-leadership, inner voice, inner motivation. And I sometimes say that I work in the currency of people, and people have that frustration of people. We have conflicts. It's how you overcome it. What are some of the challenges that you've had over your experience? Whether you can tell a story or you've got experiences in what some of the challenges that you've had to overcome, whether that be a challenge or you can share a success.
I would want to share 3 challenges that I always face. The first one is expectation.
Okay, yeah.
People's expectation, all right? So when it's not spelled properly and it's not in the contract, chances are you're actually waiting for things to happen badly. So you need to set that expectation right, okay? When I say expectation, it's not just about income or job loads or workloads or responsibilities, but it is about working personality, your working style. You see, sometimes we thought that the other person would be like us, but we cannot assume that the person can think like us, act like us, behave like us, because no one can be like you because your experience is so different, especially so when their age are different from different sector and different culture, different nationalities, and that is a huge problem. So expectation is the huge problem, number one. Okay, number two would be time management. You see, with different personalities, if the younger generations, they don't really think that time management is really important. So you need to instill time management. Whereas the older generation would think that time is so important. Why am I waiting for this young team of people, when I am the leader here? So time management is really important. So you need to set them right. So you need to put the skills and you need to put a fine system and reward system so that people use it, because no matter what, there is law to govern human nature, okay? And therefore it applies to leadership in corporate as well as in your own personal life as well. Yeah. All right. Then the third challenges will be cultural differences because of the working style. Just like now that I work in Asia, even in Asia alone, I came from Malaysia. Malaysia, people are not so enthusiastic about a lot of things. And whereas Singapore is really enthusiastic, and when you go to Hong Kong, it's the same thing. The speed and the pace are really fast. When you go to Vietnam, it's even more enthusiastic. They're really loud, and then Koreans are also very loud. Whereas in Thailand, they're like so well-natured and they're so polite. You need to read what's happening in their thoughts and their mind. When you meet the Myanmar, will be a bit different again because they are really kind-hearted people. So even though they do not want to do anything, they will say yes, but if nothing happens. So same thing with the Indonesians. And also Indonesia will have different culture in different cities. So you need to learn who they are, where they are from, and then what kind of family they came from. So culture was largely a third problem that I have, because I've got a network of all these team leaders of mine from different and diverse cultures. The French, I don't have anyone from the Britons yet. The French, the Romanians, I have got South Africans, I've got Australian, I've got Philippines, and then Israel. So I don't have someone from UK yet, but
we'll sort that out for you, not a problem at all. We'll get you some.
Yeah, but that was enough of problems, when it comes to communication. So you need to set the rules. So when there is a rules, it governs everyone. It's only one language, follow the rules.
Yeah, do you know, I
So
love
these are
that
the
though,
three.
because you just reminded me about my amazement of when I left the military 18 months ago. If you were to tell me that I was having to, being able to speak to people like yourself, or have clients from Singapore, or have a client from the Philippines, I definitely wouldn't have believed you, because it was that go and speak to teams face to face. And obviously what we've learned probably this year is that we can use and lean on technology, and we can use it as a positive tool. But
Yeah.
it's the people that have got the positive mindset to go out there and use it as an opportunity. So yeah, it still blows my mind a little bit that we're able to do this.
Yes, yes,
So can I
definitely,
just get
definitely.
your point of view on something? So you've sort of
Sure.
mentioned it a couple of times. What I saw when people say to themselves, I need to do some more learning, developing, it's that read a leadership book and try and implement it, take it off the page. And some of my observations are that people are trying to create robots.
Mm-hmm,
So you've mentioned about replicating yourself, but you've said it very
mm-hmm.
uniquely in a better way. Um,
Yeah.
do you see that where people are trying to just replicate themselves and telling people what to do, when to do it? And how do people stop doing that?
Okay, I will be speaking on the event called the Virtual Summit coming Sunday. It's my topic is gonna be coaching in the age of AI.
Ah, interesting. Okay,
Yeah.
share.
Yes, I will
It's like I
share with
knew.
you. And like you knew
I
at the
like
right
timing. I
timing.
like timing.
Yeah, that's right. So we know that we need to duplicate leaders. However, I still think, for the next 20 years, we can't replace human. Okay. And we need AI so that it can actually help us to progress further, because we are in the progressive journey, including our mobile phones. And there's so many things that we're currently doing. In fact, the last 1 year during this COVID lockdown has changed my perspective about things about coaching and training, the way I behave towards people, and no more networking with people on a weekly basis. And everything is about online. Even when getting my new clients, networking is all online. I now friend farm on a regular basis. So everyone in my team are friend farming from LinkedIn. Okay, so that is one of them. So technology is good, so you embrace it. Don't fight against it. I have got a few of them who came to do professional business coaching with me, and they have difficulty opening up to really do things online. So there are still barriers. So I need them to actually, so I have to do a lot of things and some trainings to help, to help them to open up their mind that, you need to now change your style to adapt to the current situation, because it seems like hopeless, but actually it's not true. It gives opportunity to us, all of us, so that's one. And number two, of course, we replicate leaders. It's the same method that we do. However, it has helped me a lot more with the translation and interpretation. So when I teach right now, I don't need to hire an interpreter, because the translation can do its job as you translate. So I'm using this software called LARK, L-A-R-K. When we actually do something like a Zoom, when we speak, it is now translating to 3 languages. So it helps me to manage certain people from that group as well.
Yeah.
So this is AI. If you do not know how to utilize them, you're actually uh, um, not maximizing the technology that's around you. So it's good to actually maximize it. So with these translations, I believe it's gonna grow into many more languages, okay, which is gonna be really helpful, because it is helpful, especially in Asia, when many of them still are not English speaking group yet. Okay, so that helps, because most of the time, even in Vietnam, when I do my training, I have to hire a translator or interpreter. Yes, that's right. So in using that, it becomes really important. Now, the third one will be facilitating our schedules, our documents, our virtual assistants. Everything can be done online. And I can work from home alone with my team everywhere else. And we just need a laptop, the Wi-Fi, and maybe the lights, and all this, and we can function anywhere we want. We can move anywhere we want,
Yeah.
So, and at the end of it, what do? We have got our scheduler. We can use Trello for our project management. We can use all kinds of software to manage everything that we want to do. Our brochures is all updated. Everything is outsourced. I have got nothing in the office at this present moment. Finance is outsourced. Marketing is outsourced. Graphic designers are outsourced. My digital marketing is all outsourced as well. So right now, human resource is all managed through interviews online, and then the documentation is sent to them. They can sign digitally. Everything is done digitally. It's so amazing. You don't need to file them in files and taking up space. It's all in the computer. Well, we need to back it up, of course. Yeah. So these are the beauty about AI.
So how do we keep, just to finish off with, how do you keep a human interaction with all of this going on if you've got a team of people?
We still carry out our weekly meeting at least twice a week. You can't run away from that. People need interaction. They need to fight. Your team need to fight to get to know each other. Being quiet doesn't help the growth of the team. So they need to fight with each other. They need to talk it out. They need to share what their problems they're facing with. Then we need to move forward with a lot of our plans. So it is important to allow the team to be able to express themselves. And also those who are quieter, you need to ask them to speak up as well. Or if they can't speak up, they need to type it out and then put into a proposal or something, at least to voice out somewhere. So
goes back to what you were saying about that building that rapport in the people around you. So awesome. Right. Gloria, that is 20 minutes. I've managed to stop the buzzer. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. As you were finishing off talking then about the AI and it reminded me to say that it's a bit like having a skill, isn't it? That when you first go into this new environment, it's going to be, people will gain the skill of communicating, speaking, using the technology at lots of different levels. And us as leaders, as people, I've got that responsibility to bring that to the masses and encourage and support and nurture people through that process. I was only talking to somebody this morning about exactly that they've seen their teams and their individuals get more and more productive as they've been doing something longer. It's the nurture of skill, of sport, of anything. So excellent. Gloria, I could speak all day to you. A very fascinating person. So thank you so much for joining us. And guys, hope you enjoyed that. If you're watching us on the YouTube channel, please make sure you hit subscribe. Hit the bell, tells you every episode that comes out Wednesday at 6 a.m. UK time every Wednesday. We've got some fantastic guests coming out up in the new year. And I'll put Gloria's links to her connections website, LinkedIn, all in the comments below. And we will see you next week. Gloria, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much, Stuart, for your time, and I appreciate for the invitation.
Excellent. Guys, see you all next week. Take care. Bye.
Bye.